Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of Jumpseat thAirapy, its subscribers, or any entities they represent. Any of the advice from Jumpseat thAirapy or guest is not meant to replace input from a licensed therapist in their area.
Hi everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. Just want to come here to say what's up. Good vibes only. I should have my own podcast called Good Vibes Only because I am tired of anything other than good vibes, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of stuff in life that could be really annoying and very frustrating and very low vibration and not so good vibrations, so I would like to lift the spirits up and say, hey, let's go and have a good day. Let's bring up our spirits. Let's make ourselves face the things we need to face, of course, but do it with some good vibes. Like, come on, we need some more of that in this world. I want to be more raw and authentic to everyone, so I'm trying to show my real self and my real goofiness. But there's a lot of things about that just like, it's so funny because my counselor was asking me that. She was like, what's causing you to not really be raw and authentic or sharing your story and things like that? Because trust me, my counselor and friends, closest friends to me, know what I've gone through, and I know it could be a lot to share your story, some of your traumas and things that you're going through, and of course, like, I've done a lot of healing and everything through that, but it's one thing to work through that and face it and everything, but then to go share it with everyone else and share it with the world is like, what's it to you? That's kind of, I guess, maybe how I feel. I don't know, but I've really been diving into that and just trying to understand, like, what is it that's causing me to just not share my story and the things, the traumatic things I went through. And yes, I get it, it's traumatic. Like, we don't really, I really don't know what it is. Like, I just don't feel like I want to share it with everyone, which to each their own, right? Like, I don't think I have to, like, I don't feel like I have to, but however, the things that I went through has been really healing and rewarding for me, and I feel like can be beneficial for other people in their life and their journey and stuff. But I don't know, there's something there's this blockage that I have there that's just kind of causing me to just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just creating this platform and, I really want to get people's stories out there. But I feel like from what other people have said that I'm kind of lacking that letting people in. And yeah, that could be scary, but I feel like I've faced a lot of those things, but maybe deep down, I really don't have that inner strength to allow people in. So I have not really made a video that's just let people in who I really am. So real and authentic, a big messy shirt, here I am, no haircut, didn't trim my beard. This is it. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Like, I guess I don't really know what it looks like either. Like, what is really being authentic and real? Like, I'm that, like, with work, and I'm like that with my friends. I'm like that with my family. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm just out there, and here I am feeling my ADHD right here. I'm very ADHD. I'm very ADD. I'm like all over the place. And there's a lot of times when it comes to conversations with even my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, you're all over the place. I have to, like, connect dots and everything when I speak with you. So I'm like, okay, so I'd started this podcast and it actually kind of helped me hone in to communicate a lot better, but still struggle with that. So maybe that's also letting you guys in on who I am. Like, I have a big problem with being able to speak correctly. I think there was things that happened to me when I was a kid that made it really hard just to be able to communicate. I had problems with English. I really couldn't. I'd probably had speech problems. I know I had dyslexia. I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I was diagnosed with ADHD. And they were like, you have a heavy case of it. So as a kid, I looked at that as like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. And I was put in special classes, and I don't know. I didn't like myself, and I was already picked on a lot by my looks. Like, I had buck teeth, a big gap in my teeth, and just didn't take care of my appearance a lot when I was a child. So growing up in and out of, like, from private school to homeschool to private school to public school to, like, jumping around a lot, I didn't really have a set amount of friends when I was a kid, and I've always just had my family. And so my family and I've always been really close because my dad was in the military, moved around a lot. Like, I feel like I'm just throwing up so much on you guys, but I'm just trying to learn how to, like, let you guys in on a little bit of who I am. And I find that very scary, but it's a challenge for me, and I'm letting it out and I'm doing it here. So I hope you guys enjoy. But I want to be real and authentic to let you guys know that we're all human. There's so much more to people than we realize, and, or what we let on to show. There's so much more to me than just, a podcast host or flight attendant, sibling, husband, whatever, I am to these to people. So I'm learning, even as a kid, I've learned to like I got picked on, like I said, and I tried to learn to say, I don't have this issue because I was already picked on and I was like, I don't want to be put in these special classes and just kind of turned into this, didn't want to take medication. I took medication, but it made me feel worse and it made sometimes the ADHD worse and started causing anger issues and yeah, had me all over the place. So I said, I don't have this issue and moving forward with my life, learn to kind of just balance it and understand how it worked and just used it for my advantage. But that wasn't easy. And was that the right approach? Probably not. So it affected me in my life later on with my spouse because I think he saw the ADHD as y'all are seeing right now, how I'm just like all over the place with my story. And that can be really challenging, I think, for relationships and being able to communicate because people are like, I don't know where you're at. I don't know. You go from 0 to 100 real fast. And those are some of the issues that I have, but I kind of want to share this story and I see why it could help a lot of people because I think other people deal with this and are dealing with this right now. And especially now more than ever because the way our fast-paced society is, it's like go, 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 go. And it can be very overwhelming, I think, to just anyone, but especially those with ADHD. I think we are already scatterbrained. So it's like throw a million things at us at once, and it's just like, oh my God, system overload. So that's what happens to me a lot. So, anyways, I don't know where I'm at with my story, to be honest. I really don't know how this looks. I just really trying to let you guys in to see how this looks like in real time. I don't even know if I want to do a lot of editing on this. I just want to kind of throw it out there and see what you guys think. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of work on that. And there was something else that I was saying that I wanted to get back to, kind of like flash forward where I'm at now. But I don't know. That's a little bit of my story, and I think that kind of explains a little bit. I think I was talking about my dyslexia. Like I've had issues like that with school and learning, and it's made it hard, I think, to adapt to the world around me, to be in a society that's just paints this picture that we all, have it together when we really don't. Nobody does, and that's okay. And then I've learned to be like okay with myself and okay with this part of me. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do for ourselves is just give yourself grace, forgive yourself in situations like if you have done something wrong and you shame yourself over it, like stop doing that. Look at yourself and say like, oh my God, I'm human. I understand, I don't know everything and that is okay. And give yourself grace. And when you give yourself grace, you're able to give other people grace. And so that's what I've been learning in my life. But it stemmed from things that I've dealt with since a child, So that's what it was. There's so much more to people than we think and than our perspective. People are perspectives. I am just a perspective to my husband. I'm just a perspective to my sister. I'm just a perspective to my parents. I'm just a perspective to you. I'm just a perspective to everyone, but they don't know like the full entire journey of this viewpoint of my perspective. That is really interesting. And that's what's helped me to kind of manage other people and myself and expanding my world is understanding that, I'm not perfect and neither is anyone, and I only know the perspective that I see of that person, so I really don't know what they're going through. I only know what I see. So if someone's getting mad or upset with me, I only know that perspective that I see of what I am, but I don't know what led them up to that. I don't know what led them to be so angry and mad at me. And if there's something I did, of course you can communicate and talk to me about it, but if you don't, then I don't know what to do with that, and vice versa. If I don't know how to communicate and articulate things that I'm going through, then why be upset with somebody, and myself? Like that's part of the ADHD too. Like we get so angry and frustrated that we can't communicate properly. And I'm learning to do that now. This show, this podcast has kind of helped me do that to an extent, but there's still so many challenges I have on the daily, I think, especially with my job. And I've gotten a lot better. I've made so much progress. And I've also part of that has to do with trauma. I've been able to not eliminate trauma, I guess, like, but be able to transmute the pain and suffering that I've had in those instead of living a trauma loop, I'm able to like cycle myself out of it and reframe some things and give myself grace again and love and compassion and understand that, what has happened to me doesn't belong to me and I can learn to let that go. And I have done that. I've done a lot of that work. I've done a lot of that inner work, which is an ego death because like what I used to think is that what has happened to me is always what I'm gonna be. And I always thought, that's I'm the sum total of everything that's happened to me. So if I forget it or I reframe it, then I don't know who I am. So letting that go is really scary, but very helpful and beneficial to my growth. And I hope I'm able to like pass it on to other people. I am still learning and developing my passions and my purpose. And I guess that's why I'm coming here now to kind of share my raw, authentic self and scattered-brained self so you guys can kind of understand like you're not alone in this world and the things that you're going through. You may be sitting here listening to this being like, I don't know what the is Kevin talking about. Or you may be sitting here and saying like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're going through, what that is, because I do that all the time. And this is what it looks like to my counselor. My counselor sees this part of me. She sees the raw, authentic part of me just scatterbrained all over the place, letting everything out. And she's able to put the dots and pieces together. I had a really good friend of mine that I want to have on the show here soon, who his name is Ryan. Really good friend of mine. Shout out to him who had like pointed that out to me, but makes fun of it, has like a good energy around it. And I appreciate him so much because he has this form of confidence that I just gravitate towards and I love and I appreciate about him. And it's not cocky, it's just fun and it just he's authentic and raw to himself too and doesn't care what other people think of him. And one of the things he said to me was like, it's like, how did he phrase it? Was it like a spaghetti bowl, like you have to go through it all, or just like those highways on the road that are just like all intertwined and looped around and they all lead somewhere. He's like, that's like talking with you. It's like, I have to connect the dots. Like you'll jump from one road to the next and just like I don't know where you're at, but then it all comes together at some point. And I thought that was just a really funny way to like bring light to the situation instead of just shaming myself and being frustrated with myself. Can I work on that? Absolutely. Can I get better with that? Absolutely. Like I'm no longer going to live in this realm of like, oh, whoa, it's me and play this victim that I'm just fundamentally flawed. Like I'm learning to love myself flawed and all. Like it's just part of the human experience that I maybe chose to experience here on this earth. I don't know. I don't know how it all works. Not one person can know it all. Thankfully, so that's why we have each other. And that's what I'm want with this is just to like know that I'm not in this alone and that, my best friend and I said, Sunny, she and I talked about something that was really interesting lately. She said, you may have to do it on your own, but you're never alone. So the work that you have to do on yourself, you have to do on your own, but you're never alone. I really, really love that because that's how I feel with the things that I've been able to experience and work through in my life is that, I've done it on my own and it empowered me to know that I can do this, but I was never alone. There's always been somebody there to help either guide me or be a comfort for me when falling back or falling out or falling down. There's always that comfort. And even if it's not someone physically there, there's always been something spiritually there to help guide me. You're never alone. But some of the work that you do feels like you have to do it on your own. And sometimes people feel they're alone in that, and they're not. You really have those people there. You really have those souls and spirits, guidance, whatever there to really help you, whether it's your higher self, whether it's God, whatever it is you want to believe, it is there for you. And we think we have to do it all alone, and we don't. We have to do it on our own, yes, but we're never alone. I wanted to end it with that. Hope you guys enjoyed this scatterbrained episode. Well, if you like this video, like and subscribe to my channel. And I wanted to let you guys in on me. So when I do my episodes, you can kind of refer back to this video and see this crazy, goofy side of me. And I want to let you guys in on this crazy, goofy side of me. Like, this is really the fun part of Kevin. Like, this is what I want you guys to see so that when, again, it's not even like what I want you guys to see. Again, that's me trying to control the situation. I really don't need to be a persona or be this certain person but I want to let you guys in the story, like here I am, flaws and all, either love it or hate it. If you hate it, not my problem. I love you anyways. So you can live in your misery. I used to do that. I used to be that way. I used to play this victim mentality for so long. But anyways, I'm done. I'm gonna make this like 10 hours longer than it needs to be if I just keep going. So I'm gonna stop rambling and just say thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for watching. If you like, feel free to like and subscribe and see me next time with some more interviews. I can't wait to get in here, finish my studio. First of all, like this room, that's another thing I'm gonna probably share and let you guys in on is what this room behind me represents and has happened here, and the energy and work that I'm trying to work through to do this podcast and do this show is heavy, 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 heavy. And my closest friends really know, and my family knows. And I've alluded to little things that's happened to me in my life, but never really dived into where I'm going and what this is and why I'm doing this. Anyways, I'll leave it with that because this is going to be long. Stay tuned because I'll share where I'm going with this and what I'm going to create coming forward in the future. So that's it for now. Love you all. Love, peace, and unity. Good vibes.
Let's take flight and Jumpseat therapy. Everything's alright. Together we rise, shine so bright. In these conversations we find